Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video, and today I have for you some exciting news. And I just got done with my LED trigger mod on my PS Vita 2000, and that's going to be sound activated, which is pretty insane. I had so much fun doing this little mod on my PS Vita 2000, and it's about damn time that I did something on a PS Vita when it comes to any type of like physical mods. And now I'm just so excited and so invested in doing some more mods today. And I have my whole setup here, all of my tools. I brought up all of my parts, my PSP parts. I'm going to start repairing PSPs again, getting into modding again, and just having fun at the end of the day. I love doing this kind of stuff. And if you're interested in any type of modding services, repair services, software services, let me know. I have a website where I do provide those services, and you can go check that out in the description down below. Now, ever since I did the PSP LED mod, I got a couple of questions saying, when are you going to do a PS Vita? And that was actually my next project, and it's very exciting to now finally have it done. And this one didn't actually take me too long. It took me several hours, obviously, because it was my first time doing it, but it felt so natural. It felt so like I've already did this before, but it was my first time doing a PS Vita. But since I have so much knowledge and skill, and I've been doing this for over 10 years, it wasn't too difficult. It was kind of like a walk in the park, a very long walk. Just because of the LEDs that I use, they're 0402s, and those are very, very small, but they're perfect for like little mods on like toys, Gundams, LED trigger mods on PSPs. I mean, that's what those are made for, right? And the wires on there are very, very thin and very delicate, and you got to be extremely careful on cutting the wires and also soldering them and wrapping them if you're going to go with the non-soldering route. Now with the PS Vita, I went with the non-soldering method because I found it a lot easier just to wrap the wires around the speaker connectors, and that was so nice to have that. And what I did with the LED wires was I cut off enough of the plastic so it had room for it to wrap around most of the connector, and it worked out great. And I also was cutting out channels on the back housing so I can snuggle the wires in properly, so that way when I close the entire PS Vita, it doesn't get cut or it doesn't get pressed up against plastic or the circuit board or anything like that. So I just kind of cut some grooves into the housing so that way there's like a channel for the wires to kind of sit in. And I used a little bit of the copper tape to kind of hold it in place because they get a little bit finicky, especially if you have a lot of wire left. And where I get these wires, the wires are pretty long, and I cut them to a length where it gives me enough room. If I make a mistake on removing plastic, I still have enough to remove the plastic and get that wire to peek out. And I was surprised that I got it on the first try, getting the plastic off with this really dull cutter that's like perfect for getting these wires off. I've seen people use like their teeth, fingernails, or like really tiny cutting tool to like go around it, but I found that this dull cutter, I just kept pulling off on it, and eventually the plastic came off, which was perfect. So that worked out great. Now the toughest part for me was probably getting the wires to sit on the housing and also to get the housing back on, because typically you have the triggers on where the LCD is at, where the motherboard is sitting. You have the triggers sitting on that side, but I kind of did the reverse on that. I found it easier to have the wires and the triggers on the back housing because the speakers are on the back housing, and I wrapped those wires on there and kept everything snug, and it just made it more efficient for me to make those channels like I mentioned before. But that was the difficult part, was to get that motherboard back on the back housing and also attach the back touchpad, the cable on there. That was a little bit difficult too. The battery was also falling out because there's like no adhesive to it. So maybe next time I'll put some adhesive so that way it's not tampering when I'm trying to bring it all back together. But yeah, sound activated LEDs is pretty neat on the PS Vita, and the PS Vita 2000 is extremely easy to tear apart. Now, while I had the PS Vita torn apart, I wanted to do some deep cleaning because there was a lot of, I guess, some kind of spilt soda or some sticky substance that was inside, and I also wanted to clean out my analog sticks because I do have a little bit of drift. And as I glued the LED into the trigger, waiting for it to set, I went in and deep cleaned my PS Vita. And that was a lot of fun, just going in there and cleaning everything with a Q-tip. It reminded me of that part in Toy Story 2 where that guy's like painting Woody and stuff. I've always been inspired by that movie, or that part of that movie where he has like the little chair and he brings out the paint and like cleans them all up. And I've always been fascinated with like those little tools and like little gadgets and repairing stuff like that. So I'm just super stoked on getting back into one of my biggest hobbies and hopefully making it into a full-time career, full-time job. And again, like I mentioned before, I am now providing services to repair your PS Vitas, mod them, install LEDs. That's now going to be available on my website. So if you want that trigger LED mod, I can do that for you, no problem. And I do have the available colors of white, green, red, beige, and blue. So just let me know what colors you want. Email me or join our Discord, and you can contact me directly and just to see what you need. I already got a couple of orders, which I'm pretty happy about. Thank you, God. Thank you. And feel very blessed that some people are choosing me for their console repairs, and I'm super happy. I just got an order this morning. I'm going to be replacing a couple things, and then I also have another order pending for a PSP shell swap, along with a ton of other things they'd like to add to their PSP, like an IPS screen, LEDs, and all sorts of fun stuff. So a lot of great things are cooking up for me, and also working with collaborations with different companies to promote or unbox different products. So I'm trying to push more of this content and pushing more of my services, and just trying to have some fun. Now that I'm jobless, I have a lot of time to kind of pursue my dream, and this is what I want to do. So yeah, let me know what you think of this really cool LED mod. I had a lot of fun putting it together. And to be honest, I found it a lot easier to do the PS Vita 2000 rather than the PSP 1000 with the whole soldering. It was nice to just wrap the wire over the speaker and just take my time with my little tweezers and wrapping it correctly and properly, and it came out great. So that is it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.